Welcome to the bold analysis. With the transparency deficit in this country, I may not have the range to advise the president, but I can tell Kenya Kwanza administration that transparency is the game changer. The whole discussion about finance bill, the whole discussion about Adani deal, it all borders transparency. I want us to get into that and try to interrogate why the state is demanding that all the cases that are litigating against the implementation of Adani deal should be squashed from the courts. We are going to look into that, but allow me to just have that slip of kidogo and look at something. I just want to brush through it. The DCI are denying that they're saying the report, the Nation story, that we picked on Sunday, that a contingent of detectives were trailing Rigathi Gachagwa's convoy and even visited Bishop Gitahi, who was supposed to host Gachagua, are false. But I just want to say they should a little bit, even if you want to fact check a story, I think they need to do better. I've read this statement, and let me just pick some two paragraphs that are very interesting to me here. We want to clarify that these allegations are entirely false and seem to be aimed at misrepresenting the actions and intentions of the DCI. The DCI operates within the parameters established by the rule of law and has consistently affirmed its commitment to refraining from interference in the liberties of individuals and institutions. Moreover, the claim that the writer was unable to obtain a comment from the DCI is incorrect. The Director of Criminal Investigations provided a prompt response, reaffirming the DCI's commitment to respecting the autonomy of religious institutions, and writer acknowledged receipt of the response. One thing that the DCI need to do is, you need to, I think, this corporate language of saying the information is incorrect, that the information is misrepresented, is false. I think that is the traditional corporate language. But on such a sensitive matter, I think what the DCI guys should do, the guys handling crisis communication in that desk, they should do, they should always respond decisively and definitely. For example, the allegation is that some detectives went at 8 a.m. on Sunday to the residence of the bishop and demanded answers from the bishop, or rather reprimanded the bishop not to host the deputy president. What the DCI should come out and say is this: did you send, were there detectives that were sent? Yes. If yes, they say yes. Probably because what they're saying, they're not denying sending or not, they're just saying it is false. What is false in that document? Is it the fact that you sent the police, or it is the fact that probably the ones that were sent were not demanding, did not want to, maybe did not call on the bishop not to host together? I think they need to be specific. They might have a very good stand, and I think I've realized I've been doing it, just saying false, incorrect, misrepresented of facts, misleading, this. I think those corporate general language, those general words, probably they don't hold. On this matter, you come out clearly and say, I did not send a contingent of police to go to that bishop and say this and that. You go directly. But if you just say false, okay, I was just brushing there. Let's get to the gist of this analysis. Katiba Institute launched a petition challenging the constitutionality of PPP on Adani deal, saying that Parliament was bypassed. So before, sometime last year, there was a legislation, I think it was an act on Parliament, that was enacted, and it absolved Parliament from approving the role of Parliament in discussing the public-private partnerships deals. The Parliament was denied that opportunity. Actually, they absolve themselves. They remove that role from the parliament themselves. And even currently, there is another one in the finance docket where kitambo kama treasury ilikuwa inataka kuuza hoteli, parliament used to have a say. Now a law was also changed so that treasury and cabinet and the executive will formulate all the tools and the documents and the plan, maybe to sell a state corporation, a state company or so, or even a tailor state property without involvement of parliament. Now, this is what Katiba Institute has gone to court and has challenged, that because it involves public expenditure, the parliament cannot be left out of that. So Katiba Institute has taken a case to court. The same time, Kalonzo Musyoka and Eugene Wamalwa are also representing Kenya aviation workers in another case challenging Adani deal. So immediately Katiba Institute is the one that was also leading the litigation against the BBI, if you remember, during Uhuru Kenyatta reign. So Katiba Institute was in the front line to litigate against that. Then, immediately that information came out, Homa Bay Town Member of Parliament, Opondo Kaluma, made this post. And this is what he's saying. Kenyans don't want new finance laws to help government raise revenue. Kenyans don't want public-private partnerships to get private entities to invest in the economy. What do we want? Our courts should throw out these unending cases before they ground a government. Before they ground government. Adani is good for Kenya. I can tell you that were it not for the broad-based administration, Opondo Kaluma will be amongst the members of parliament that would be opposing that Adani deal. And in fact, we need to debunk a notion here. It is not true that Kenyans don't want public-private partnerships. But the truth is, they don't know what is in the detail. They don't know what about it. We're just told PPP. So public-private partnership now is like a slogan. It's just some sloganeering. But the public, it is called public-private partnership, but the public is not involved in it. The public are just told. I wish it will be I wish it will be the true public-private partnership. And so it's demanding that these unending cases that are now challenging the implementation of a Adani deal, they're being challenged because they're a waste of time. And by the way, if you look at the way the opposition MPs are now supporting the government policies, it is a wake-up call for the masses to understand that politicians don't oppose based on principle, based on whether it is good. Or rather, politicians don't analyze a government policy purely based on its merits and demerits, or based on principle, or even on law. It is simply on interest. I know my MP from Malego Songo once said, because we are in government, government is now good. Just the fact that we are in government, government is now good. And it's true, we are in government. Now they said now government is now good. I like Esther Pasaris. And I like the response from Esther Pasaris because, and that is why I said, this is it. Esther Pasaris responded on Opondo Kaluma and is saying, it's that situation of you cannot have your cake and eat it across all the divides. We need to do the following. He said, deal with corruption decisively to win the trust of the citizens. By then let me say this. It is not true that all government policies are wrong. That not all those policies are not well thought out. But for the last few days, I have a relative who is in Coptic Hospital, Coptic Mission Hospital in Ngong. alicollapse, cardiac arrest. So bill was around 700,000. The critical illness chronic package, I think, paid around 550,000. And there's a reprieve, so the family, we only have now to raise some 200 something. So don't you realize that, yes, there are some elements and some packages even in SHA that are working. Not that SHA is in totally wrong. We need to tell the members of public that. So sometimes when I saw MPs going out in public and saying that SHA is bad, that SHA, it is true, implementation has issues. But you should not be discouraged that you should not do it, because it is that. It is not bad in total. I want us to get to that point, because this is what has been done. But what the president and Kenya Kwanza must actually agree with is the public have trust issues. It's like you have been in a relationship. Now bibi mepigana mkateseka sana. So when you leave that marriage, you get to another marriage, you become so insecure that you have a trust issue. So kitu kidogo hivi. This is what is happening with the government. And I like what Esther Pasaris is saying. Deal with corruption decisively to win the trust of citizens. Because you cannot say that. Today there is a story in there, I think it's in the front page of Nation. Someone who was implicated in a corruption case, 6.5 billion of that edible oil, has been handed a government job. On KEMSA, people who are being, relinquished their roles from KEMSA over corruption linked are being cleared and being appointed ambassadors. And despite of these huge corruption scandals that are emerging, I think I'm yet to see any government, be it Uhuru or Ruto, that I think Uhuru tried jailing. Uhuru jailed one MP from Western. Is it Waluke? Ruto akamtoa. He's been given some reprieve from the court. I'm yet to see one that the Kenya Kwanza administration is going to jail. So I agree with deal with decisively with corruption. You gain trust. Number two, highlight the key details of investment versus deliverables thereof from all PIP and PPP. There is public investments partnership and there is public-private partnerships. Now, this is what you need to tell Wanjiku. Tumekubaliana na kampuni X, tumekubaliana na Adani kwamba wao wataran JKIA. Ambia Wanjiku, itamsaidia aje? There is a contemporary thinking. There is something the government have been saying that we're getting into multi-billion deals with companies watusaidia kwa giant projects so that we can free up cash for other, we can free up cash for budgetary support, and through that we'll reduce the appetite for more taxes. It has been spoken in different forums. But what the public can't see is, sawa, umepatia Adani airport, difference ni nini? What are the deliverables? Number three, explain why other partners were not invited to bid for this or other projects awarded. There is this situation of you come up with a project, it is a PPP, but you don't make it public, you don't make it competitive. You choose who is going to bid, you choose who is going to get it and how it's going to be done and everything. Then you realize that if kama uliweka open, Anyango apply, Kamau apply, Otieno apply, and it happens in tendering. Just the other day, Oscar Sudi was talking about a bombshell that is going to release a bombshell on how government ministries are now shortchanging other legitimate businesses in the country. I saw that story. So explain why you only give tenders to specific people and specific companies. And lastly, and I like this part, Adani will be good as a good partner and Kenya was negotiated, but if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. And he's saying, access to information is a constitutional right. Let the executive come clean on all partnerships when asked to do so as a bare minimum. Let me tell you, the problem with Kenya, one of the problems that has affected Kenya Kwanza administration is this. transparency. That word transparency. You don't want to come clear. You just want to negotiate a corner, say it is this way, it is the other way. You know, we are going to discuss about it. We've cancelled the tender, we are giving it to someone else. There is always just corners. Recently, juzi kulikuwa na a video. I think kulikuwa na, that was Murkomen. He was attending some committee and let what one person said about it. Now that is the problem. That is the problem. So I wish we really get to do the right thing. I want to give a very good example. Recently, there have been a story here of when President Ruto said he called Trump, Kenyans were doubting. Then, you know, he said, I've talked to Trump about this and that. Kenyans doubted. But what happened? Baadaye, I saw an president from Indonesia recording a video call of his call with Trump, na I make public. And the public really enjoyed it because now public understood. I wish, listen to this.
Nice to talk to you. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I would like to congratulate you on your election as President of the United States of America. I would like,
thank you so much.
if possible, I would like to call personally on you. Wherever you are, I'm willing to fly to congratulate you personally, sir.
Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. Well, we'll do that anytime you want, but great job you're doing in Indonesia. Great job. Proud of you.
Sir,
Really amazing. And your English is so good.
yes, sir,
Very good, the English.
all my training is American, sir.
That's great. Yeah, we had a great election in the U.S. We had a great election. It's amazing what happened. We had tremendous success. The most successful in over 100 years, they say, and that's a great honor. So it gives me a very big mandate to do things properly.
And of course we were all shocked when they tried to assassinate you, but we are very happy that the Almighty protected you, sir.
Yes, I got very lucky. I just happened to be in the right place in the right direction. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. I got quite lucky, actually.
Yes, sir. And
somebody was protecting. Somebody was protecting me, I guess.
yeah.
How are you doing? Everything good?
Yes, sir.
Everything good?
Yes, sir. And I also had the honor of hosting Mr. Jared Kushner, and I hope to keep in touch with him again.
That's good. Well, whenever you're around, you let me know, and I'd like to also get to your country sometime. It's incredible. The job that you're doing is incredible.
Thank you,
So
sir.
respected. You're a very respected person.
Sir.
And I give you credit for that. It's not easy.
Thank you, sir.
It's not easy.
I'll try to call on you at your convenience, sir, if it's possible. Yes, sir.
Yes, you call anytime you want. You have my number. This is my number.
Thank you, sir.
And you call anytime you want. It's my great honor to talk to you, and I'll see you soon. I look forward to please send to your people, to the people of Indonesia, my regards. That I have great respect for them and for you, okay?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, Mr. President. Thank you, sir.
I wish even Kenya we can take that space. And kama Ruto mpigie na watu wanamdoubt, apigie nini apige tuone. Kama watu wanamdoubt kwamba hata hajaongea na. So there is a lot of, imagine even that one people are doubting kwamba there is no such a meeting. So I wish they get that. Now, why I feel the transparency issue need to be addressed is this. Lack of transparency is a leading corruption breeding site. The transparency gap is the corruption breeding site, because when I don't know, it means you can just do it how you think and how it can benefit you. But when the public knows, because the public are the custodians of accountability, you know, they're the ones that you're accounted to. You're not accountable to that. You're accountable formally to government, to the president and your boss. But the accountability, you owe that accountability to the people of Kenya. Because even positions that you hold them on trust. Number two, when you are not open about it, the loyalty of that government goes down. You cannot say, believe me. You know, it's not about you. Kenya has trust deficit. You cannot say, because I believe UDA administration, it is right. The belief of the UDA administration is not there. Of the Kenya Kwanza administration is not there. So give me the facts. Tell me the truth. I will believe you. I will believe the truth. I'm supposed to believe the truth, not you. Remember, it is not the president. The Adani deal is not about President Ruto, because after 10 or 5 years, the President Ruto might not be in power. But the deal is 30 years. It has impact for the country beyond Kenya Kwanza administration. So Kenyans need to buy the deal, not the person speaking about the deal. But here we believe that when people are saying Adani deal is bad, the Opondo Kalumas and politicians believe that hawa watu wataki tu Ruto. Say eti hiyo kitu ni mbaya, hiyo kitu ni mzuri lakini hawataki Ruto. No, that should not be the point. The other issue is the literal levels of this country is high. Watu wamesoma kidogo. So people are a bit more informed. So it's not easy just to brush off and say, you believe me. You believe me cannot be the best way to do it. I think the political opponents are also discrediting the deal to sensationally mobilize the public. I think government knows this. That there are people that are opposing not because it is bad, but it is for their political gains. Yes. And that has been the point. Even the Azimio side, the ODM side, when they were not in government, they were opposing some of the policies. Not because of it is bad or good. It is just for political standing. Nionekane mimi nimepinga. And lastly, I think the deal, when you are not transparent, the whole thing looks an illegality. And that is why it finds itself in the court corridors. So even as Kaluma says all this needs to be squashed, I think it will just be objective is we remain within those lines. Thank you.